Today's broadcast of St. Anthony Overnight is brought to you in memory of David Clemente. Let us offer our consecration to the Lord. Lord, we offer up to you this day, and we ask that you answer our prayer in ways that glorify your name, in ways that we may be more and more each and every day open to where you are leading us, especially in this very painful time for our world. Let us always remember that you call us to be the salt of the earth, the light of the world. Help us to be those things to the people around us. And we ask this through Christ our Lord. Well, today in Jeremiah 18, we're looking at this powerful message of Jeremiah, and he is talking about how he is being persecuted because of his calling the people to change their ways. Jeremiah lived prior to the Babylonian exile, so he was calling people to change their ways. He lived in the nation of Judah. And we also realize that as he's calling people to change their ways, as he's calling people to come to a whole new way, to turn from their sin, they are not liking this. Now, you have to understand what's going on when we see that. And part of what we see here is, despite Jeremiah speaking out in the name of the Lord, the people are rejecting him, especially the movers and the shakers. These are people who are engaged in sin. And as I've said before, when you're talking about sin, you're not talking about people who maybe say a bad word or two. You're talking people who have turned completely away from the Lord. In Ezekiel, you see that the priests are practicing forms of idolatry where they're actually worshiping foreign gods in what I guess we would call the sacristy today in a church. And so they're actually worshiping foreign gods. The idolatry is the worst sin in the Bible, and here they are practicing idolatry. We see in Jeremiah that they're practicing human sacrifice. So these people are not just like, oh, they could be nicer. No, these people are actively engaged in living a whole different religion, while during the day, so to speak, when people see them, they're actually following along the rules of Judaism, but they're actually rejecting God. And why are they doing that? Because it is materially advantageous for them to do that. Throughout the Old Testament, you see that the Lord is calling people away from the Baals, which is, and it's spelled B-A''A'-L. That's why I say Baal, the Baals. And it is a worship of another god. Why would people worship another god? It's literally that the grass is greener on the other people's lawn. It's not actually, we're talking about lawn here, but Baal was the god of fertility. Now, there may have been different gods or different names, but whenever we hear Baal, we're talking about the god of fertility. Well, why would people be worshiping the god of fertility? Well, in an agrarian culture, fertility means successful crops, and successful crops mean lots of food and lots of money. And it's really material wealth. That's what it means. So if they are worshiping the Baal, asking Baal to give them material wealth, they are turning away from the Lord. And what else is happening? They are not trusting God for their future. And so what they are saying to Jeremiah is, shut up. We don't want to listen to you. We're listening to these other prophets who may be prophets for Baal, or they may be false prophets. There's an expression that you see in the Bible where peace and security. The false prophets would be saying peace and security. Everything's going to be fine. Don't worry. Everything's okay. Nothing's going to go wrong. The Lord is still with us. And even though they knew they were engaged in sinful activity, the false prophets would be saying, don't worry, the Lord will take care of you. Everything is fine. Everything's fine. We're all doing okay. And actually, in reality, everyone who truly understood the Lord and where the Lord was calling them would realize that was a lie. So here you have Jeremiah speaking on behalf of the Lord. and he is saying no. And this, the signs are all there that what they're saying is wrong. You shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be practicing this. If you do this, you're going to lose the Lord's protection. That's what Jeremiah is saying. And the people are saying over and over again, shut up. We don't want to hear you. Stop speaking. And then they try to persecute him into silence, but he can't stop. I always say Jeremiah is the prophet with Tourette syndrome. If you know anyone who has Tourette syndrome, you will know that they say things they don't want to say. The actual symptom of Tourette syndrome is not that you say bad words, you say the most inappropriate thing for the time. So that's what Tourette syndrome is. If you have the verbal form of Tourette syndrome, you're not going to say just bad words. You're going to say the most inappropriate thing for the time. The worst possible thing you could possibly say, you will say. And that's Tourette syndrome. Well, if you look at Jeremiah, granted, he didn't have that form of Tourette syndrome, but he doesn't want to prophesy anymore. He doesn't want to speak the Lord's words anymore because he's always being attacked for this. And he even tries to stop speaking. And when he tries to stop speaking, the words still come out. No matter how many times he tries to hold it in, they still come out, which is exactly what happens with Tourette syndrome. So I always say he's kind of like the prophet for people with Tourette syndrome. We're going to talk more on the other side of the break. You're listening to St. Anthony Overnight from St. Anthony Parish in Allston, Massachusetts, right here on WEZE 590 AM, and you can also hear us at CatholicAudiomedia.com. I want to call your attention to Catholic TV, which offers great faith-filled, family-friendly programming 24 hours a day. You can find your cable channel at www.getcatholictv.com, and you can watch online on the free apps or check out the YouTube channel. Daily Mass, Rosaries, the Divine Mercy Chaplet, and the Our Lady of Perpetual Help Novena are all available online and on demand. Check out CatholicTV.com. Do you know that you can put together an adoration chapel of your own in your own house? With concerns surrounding the coronavirus and social distancing, many miss the opportunity to pray before the Blessed Sacrament. However, with a little ingenuity, it is quite easy, and you are not doing anything irreverent or illicit. Simply search Eucharistic Adoration Live on YouTube, and several live channels in different parts of the world will pop up. Now you can engage in Eucharistic adoration in your own home if it is not available in your local parish church. Eucharistic Adoration Live on YouTube. St. Anthony Parish, Allston, Massachusetts. I've been running that public service announcement all week about adoration, and I've been doing a lot of it during Lent because, especially during this times, I'm encouraging people to do that, and I'm encouraging families to come together for Eucharistic adoration on YouTube. Now, we have it in the church on Wednesdays, and you're welcome to come on Wednesday night at 6 o'clock to experience Eucharistic adoration in the church. And I'm also sitting in the confessional at the time. Last night, Tuesday night, we began a weekly rosary in the church that begins on Tuesday night, 6 o'clock. So we have that going on, and this is important. But when we don't have it in the church or you don't have it in your own parish, I encourage you to do Eucharistic adoration streaming live on YouTube. And I do it every single morning. I get out of bed, I have breakfast and everything, then I go and I sit before a live streaming of Eucharistic adoration as part of my holy hour. So anyway, we're talking about these powerful moments that we're seeing with Jeremiah. And so he's begging not to be saying these words because he suffers this great persecution. Why? Because the people don't want to hear him say what they know is the truth. And so he tries not to do it because it's so painful. Remember something about Jeremiah. Jeremiah, Moses, and Elijah, the three major prophets. Moses and Elijah we're going to see this Sunday in the Transfiguration. Moses and Elijah were three great prophets, and Jeremiah. And I always remind people, all three of them were begged God to kill them. Two of them literally said, "Kill me now." They literally said, "Kill me now." And Moses said, "I'm done. I've had it. Kill me now." And Elijah said, "I am no greater than my ancestors. Kill me now." But Jeremiah cursed the day he was born. So I always bring that up, and you've heard me say it before. Anyone who says, oh, it must have been so wonderful to be a prophet for the Lord. Actually, it was a nightmare. St. Teresa of Avila talks about, she says, do not envy those who have encouragements, which are mystics, those people who have these mystical experiences, because they suffer. Yes, they truly suffer. So you know this, and Jeremiah is experiencing this, and he's asking the Lord to help him because the people are saying, shut up. And why are they saying this? Because he's saying you're walking down the wrong path, and they're going, but it doesn't look like the wrong path to us. We're doing fine materially. We've got lots of money. We've got this, that, and the other thing. We're doing wonderful, but it's all short-lived, and they don't understand that. And that's one of the issues that is going on. It's all short-lived. So when we look at that and we see that powerful message and we see that powerful reality, we recognize that. And of course, the church goes through that. When the church has to stand up, and we have to stand up against those people who think that we're too liberal, and we have to stand up against those people who think we're too conservative, because we have to stand up for the truth. And the truth is what we are called people to do. And of course, Pope Francis suffers from this intensely, because many people are accusing the Pope of being, for example, a socialist. But if you look at what he's saying on economic issues, he's saying exactly what the church teaches. And they think he's being too much of a leftist. If you see what he's saying on church issues, you see he actually is following exactly what the church says. One of the recent things, and I talked to Mark Shea about this on the other program, the church is against the death penalty, and it's been against the death penalty for many, many, many decades, but it was Pope John Paul II who came out and said that only in a last resort, which virtually does not exist. So Pope John Paul II was the one who said that we really don't believe in the death penalty. Yet there are many people who will say the church is wrong on the death penalty. Well, if you're going to say the church is wrong on the death penalty, then what else are you going to say the church is wrong on? It's not. And we're into the saving souls business, in a sense. I know people don't like it to put it that way, and we're really not in that sense. But we're all about saving souls, even someone who may be on death row legitimately. There are people who are in death row illegitimately. Mark Shea said 4 of every 100 are actually innocent. But we're here for the salvation of all. We'll talk more tomorrow. Have yourself a blessed day. And remember, Jeremiah had his bad day too. Remember that. Have a good day. This broadcast of St. Anthony Overnight is in memory of David Clemente. In Cristo vivimos.